Hey everybody, it's me, Zach, this is Judy, and welcome back to our channel. Hey everybody, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Today I'm back again for another episode of the 1000 Pound Sisters. We're here to review it, recap it, give you all my thoughts and opinions, show you the best clips, best parts of it, and have a good time. Have a good time. Yes, I love the Slayton sisters. I love the critically acclaimed 1000 Pound Sisters on TLC. Emmy Award winning, maybe someday, who knows. I love it, and I'm so ready to talk about it, but before we get to it, I just want to thank this week's sponsor, which is Atlas VPN. Atlas VPN has worked with me in the past, and I really appreciate all of their support. If you don't know what a VPN is or what Atlas VPN is, it's a virtual private network that helps encrypt your data as you are going about on the internet doing your thing. It helps hide your IP address and make your online activities a little bit more secure. It also has a data breach monitor feature that helps let you know if your data gets breached in any kind of like info leak situation type of deal on the internet, and it helps you have a better streaming experience with other streaming platforms like Disney Plus, Hulu, Netflix, whoever, whatever. In particular, I have used it with WoW Presents Plus to watch Drag Race. With the upcoming season of Drag Race coming to our TVs in January, I kind of want to get caught up on all of the US versions, but if you don't know, if you're a US citizen, you can't watch all of the seasons on WoW Presents Plus. You can only watch the international seasons. If you look at my screen, like, obviously I love Drag Race, happy to use this app to watch all of the seasons that are from abroad, but would love to be able to watch it here in the US as well. So all I do is I pull up my Atlas VPN, I pick another country to be from, let's say like Ireland in this case. Now I'm connected. I go over here, I click refresh, and now you can see that the US versions, like All Stars and just the regular US version, are all available, all 12 seasons. I can go and watch them all. So thanks again to Atlas VPN for sponsoring this video. If you didn't know, right now you can get a great deal for just $1.39 per month, and they're running an exclusive deal for December where you get 3 months free. So I'll leave a link down below in the description box and a pinned comment for you to go check that out yourself. But again, thank you to Atlas VPN for sponsoring this video. So before we jump into the review, I do want to say that last week a lot of people were like, Zach, I can't believe you left out the most iconic clip of the whole episode, which is where Amy was crying about having roaches and literally TLC was shady as F. As F. Somebody asked me to stop cursing so much, so I'm gonna try. But somebody was like, TLC's being shady, showing this roach crawling up the wall while Amy's crying. And I agree, that clip was a lot. I didn't actually miss it. I think in that part of my video, I was trying to focus more on the fact that like Amy was improving, or Amy was taking steps to be a better mom. And I felt like TLC's shadiness took away from that, which is why I didn't include it. But I've seen it literally all over the internet. Y'all have been tagging me in TikToks and tweets, and I've even seen people outside of the 1000 Pound Sisters internet sphere posting it as well. So it was definitely a shady, iconic moment that like everybody paid attention to. And I just didn't include it because I was trying to focus on the fact that Amy's a human and she's trying to do better, and TLC was being shady. With that being said, this week's episode starts off actually with Amy still working with the organizers and talking about how stressed out she is, that they found bugs and mice and things like that. In particular, I just want to emphasize that like these women who are the professional like organizers and cleaners are truly so kind and so understanding. Like, I just really appreciated how they worked with Amy and talked to her, like, through her trauma, essentially. Like, I'm sure they're not paid therapists, trained therapists, but they really, like, were so kind and gentle in terms of, like, working with her to, you know, really process all of the stuff that she needed to clean up and get rid of. With that being said, I was dying at the random stuff that they were talking about throwing out.
They're from fans. That's my dilemma. I get so much stuff, and then my house ends up like this. This was my diabetic book for when I was pregnant. I'm going to put this in the memories. Okay. Because when I was pregnant, I had to check my blood sugar 4 times a day.
And you think that's something you're wanting to look back at the notes on?
There's a tongue ring in here, honey.
Throw it away. I don't have a tongue ring anymore.
I mean, those precious ornament moments situations, like, from fans, which, like, what fans are sending her precious moments? I thought precious moments were, like, only a thing that my, like, older aunts collected. Like, I literally have an aunt, if I went to her house right now, she has, like, a whole curio cabinet full, just full of precious moment figurines. Like, I thought that that was just something that, like, older white ladies collected, but maybe I'm wrong. I also was like, Amy's truly a hoarder, that she's sitting here trying to keep this notebook where she was collecting her, like, blood sugar ratings. Like, this was, like, solidifying for me that Amy wasn't just saying she was a hoarder for, like, shock value of the last episode, but, like, Amy really does struggle with some, like, hoarding tendencies, because she was struggling to get rid of, like, some of the most silly things. And I will say, this little scene right here at the beginning did give us the little bit shot of the week. And Lil Bit was just chilling on the couch amidst all the trash and treasures. I love Lil Bit. Lil Bit's so cute. And the way that she was posted up on that couch reminded me of Judy's favorite position to be in, which is posted up on our couch, right in the little crevice between the arm and the cushion. That's her favorite spot to be. So the next scene is Tammy, Chris, and Brittany heading back from Dr. Smith's office, where we saw them in the last episode, and basically Chris starts lecturing Tammy about needing to do better, all while Tammy's in the back just sipping on her diet soda, which y'all know I love a diet soda. If you missed my video yesterday where I was talking about the diet soda, go make sure to watch that, because we drank a $15 diet soda and it was delicious, so good. But Chris is like, I'm gonna have to lecture Amy about giving you cheat days and helping you out and enabling you and whoever, whatever. And he also says this weird thing about Amy being dumb.
Sometimes that girl, love her to death. Stupid just smacked her on every branch all the way down the tree when she fell out.
I don't know, that felt really out of character, out of line. I don't know. I mean, I know Amy isn't actually the smartest person in the world, but, like, I didn't feel like that was necessary in the context of this conversation. And then Amy just so happens to call Chris. I'm sure that wasn't planned by TLC production whatsoever, while they just happened to be filming in this car. But Amy gives Chris a call, and Chris starts lecturing Amy about all the enabling that he does. And Amy does point out that no matter what she does, she's basically effed if she does, effed if she doesn't.
Tammy always asks me to buy cheap boots. And if I don't, she gets mad. And if I do, Chris gets mad. And I'm just done with it.
And I have to agree to some extent with Amy that it must be difficult to be in her situation where no matter what she does, somebody's gonna get mad at her. She's either gonna have to deal with Tammy or deal with Chris or deal with Misty or somebody else in their family. And honestly, she's probably more inclined to just give Tammy what she wants, because she's the one that is dealing with Tammy on a daily basis. Like, she lives literally next door to Tammy. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I could see why she is more likely to just, like, give in to what Tammy needs, because, or, well, not what Tammy needs, but what Tammy wants, because she's got to actually deal with it, whereas Chris only ever has to deal with it when Chris comes around. With that being said, I 100%, well, not 100%, but I do agree with Chris as well. Like, I don't think that he needs to be, like, getting angry and blaming everything on Amy, but Chris is right. Chris is right. Like, Tammy would not have access, or nearly the same kind of access to food that she does, if Amy didn't bring it to her. Like, that's it. Like, Tammy's not driving herself places, Tammy's not walking herself places, Tammy's not doing whatever on her own. Now, I know people are always like, well, she could just get grocery delivery, she could get Uber Eats delivery, she could get whoever, whatever. Well, they live in, like, a more remote part of Kentucky, okay? They don't live in, like, Lexington or Louisville, okay? Uber Eats and stuff like that doesn't exist to the same extent in the middle of nowhere, right? And so her access to that stuff is way more limited than probably what you're thinking. So yeah, I do think that Amy is is partially responsible and does need to take some accountability. It probably just needs to, like, say, tough luck, Tammy. You get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Chris does end up coming around and saying, like, listen, it's not all Amy's fault. And that's true, because Tammy and Chris and everybody are putting Amy in, like, a difficult situation. And I'm sure that Amy's just tired of fighting, which is what she essentially says. So in our next scene, we get to see Misty coming back to visit Tammy. This is supposed to be kind of like a follow-up to when Misty and Chris confronted Tammy about Philip, aka the BBW King. But before we get too far into that, like, I noticed that Tammy was holding a vape pen, or what looked like a vape pen to me. I don't vape a lot, but I'm guessing that's what it looked like to me. Otherwise, I don't know what that is. Yo, I just can't imagine it's good to be inhaling anything when you're on oxygen. Now, it's probably not the same danger as, like, an open flame lighting everything up. So I don't have the same concerns, I guess, as I did when there were, like, the ashtray full of cigarette butts. But I just got a lot of questions, like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? And why is the show not addressing it? And honestly, I didn't say anything about it last week because there are more important things to talk about. But if you look closely at the editing of when Amy was, like, sitting on the porch and crying after having a little bit of a breakdown because of the mice and the roaches and everything, it kind of looked like you could see her doing something with her hand that made it look like she might have had a cigarette and, like, she was flicking the ash and stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading into it too much, but, like, honestly, for me, I get so stressed out about, like, smoking and stuff like that, with kids around, with oxygen around, with just, like, the state of their health in general, and I just, like, hope they're being good. I don't know, it just worries me. All of that being said, Tammy's like, listen, Misty girl, I'm thinking about going to Vegas to see Philip. How? Wait, but how? Wait, but how? Before Misty even says anything, I paused and I said, how? I paused that video and I said, Tammy, how? You can barely, like, do any kind of walking anything, anywhere. You're telling me you're gonna find your way to an airport, navigate an airport, get on a plane, be on that plane for however long it takes to get from Kentucky to Las Vegas, touch down in Las Vegas, navigate that airport, and then go find the BBW King? Are you gonna take Michael to push you around? Like, especially after all the things we saw with Tammy this episode and mobility and whoever, whatever. I'm just like, how are you gonna go all the way to Vegas? But anyways, Misty ended up agreeing with me, like, ended up saying almost exactly the same things, like, minutes after I paused to type down all those thoughts and feelings. And then Tammy says some weird stuff about wanting to experience, like, teenage things.
I mean, there's always concerns, but I never done, like, teenage things what kids did when they were younger. I want to experience it now. Don't give a dang what people think or want. Just make myself happy for once.
And honestly, I don't have any idea what that means, but, like, girl, you're a 30-something-year-old person now. Like, you're literally only a few years older than me. I'm just like, I'm not sure. I think that time has passed, I guess is what I'm saying. I think your time to do teenage things, whatever that might mean, has passed. Like, focus on doing 30-year-old things, honestly, because you might not get to do that much longer at the rate you're going at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just like this idea of trying to live in the past thing. Like, I don't know what that's all about when you could just be doing things now. But you also, as demonstrated in this, like, if you want to go out there and start living your life and doing whoever, whatever, there's lots of things you could be doing right now to get that started. And Tammy also, like, Misty, I guess, says something along the lines of, like, girl, you can't even take care of yourself. Like, how are you gonna go take care of yourself in Las Vegas? And Tammy claims that she does take care of herself, but it's like, I don't know that you do when you literally depend on Amy and a nurse who comes to take care of you 2 days a week to be able to just, like, survive. And Misty also points out that, like, Tammy's had a shitty attitude ever since the BBW King came into the picture. So I don't know if that's, like, super different than Tammy's normal behavior or not. Like, as far as I'm concerned on the show, she's acted about the same as she has in all 3 seasons. So I'm not sure if the BBW King really has anything to do with that or not, but it's a thing. The next scene we get is Tammy and Amy hanging out and just having a good old sister time. And this scene is what we were missing out on last week, quite truly, because it starts off with a fart.
Sorry. You farting in your damn it. Okay. Crop dust in my couch.
And y'all know I love a fart. Y'all know I have leaned into the Slayton sister fart joke, the Amy Slayton fart joke. I'm here for it. And this scene, it's not even over because there's more to go with this scene. But they do talk about Philip a little bit, and Tammy brings up that she wants to go to Vegas to Amy, and Amy's like, girl, how the hell are you gonna do that? They also talk about this idea of having a county fair meet and greet, which they end up doing, and we'll talk about that once we get to it. And then the most important part of this scene is that Amy apparently, allegedly, when she was cleaning up her home, found some kind of massager thing. Or maybe it wasn't that she found it, but she got it because her back hurt from doing the cleanup. And so she asks Tammy to give her a little booty massage.
Tammy, will you do the honor of rub my butt side?
Oh my God, it's... You fart, I swear.
I backed his up.
Did Michael teach you how to throw it back? Is that why you bent over like that?
No, Michael didn't teach me that. He wasn't my first sexual encounter. I've had other sex partners.
Y'all, I could not believe what I was watching. TLC said, we are gonna blur the lines of what is appropriate television. And I love it. I loved it. I ate it all up. I ate every second of it up. Could not get any better than that scene for me. 10 out of 10. Get her Emmy. Get her Emmy. I don't know who the her is in this situation, but someone deserves an Emmy for that content. I feel like this week's episode had a lot of fun little smaller segments. I'm not sure, like, it was just a little bit of a departure, I guess, from last week where it really focused on, like, 2 big storylines. But the next thing we get to see happen is Amy and Michael go and get acupuncture because Amy says she hurt her back from, like, cleaning or whatever. And Michael, I guess, has allegedly just been dealing with back pain from pushing Tammy all these years. It was just a pretty funny, cute scene. I think one of the highlights for me was Amy asking if she had to get naked for the doctor.
Do you have to be naked?
No, you don't have to.
I don't know if I had to take my top off or whatever.
No, ma'am.
Oh, it can go through your clothes?
Well, we're just gonna lift up your shirt for your lower
okay.
back, so.
That was alright. I would have took my shirt off for you.
And honestly, all of these doctors on this show, I don't know where they find them, but they are all, like, cute in their own ways, and I love that for them. Like, I love that for them, and I love that for Amy and Tammy, who just, like, get to interact with these people. The other really funny part for me, personally, was when they were laying on the little tables for the acupuncture, and TLC really caught Michael drooling.
I drooled a little bit.
I just literally laughed out loud. Like, I say I laugh out loud a lot, and I type LOL a lot, but this was like a true LOL moment for me, personally. And then after all of that, the meet and greet happens, and we get to see what's going on there. I don't remember if I shared this in a video or not, but I do remember at the time that this happened, people were sending me photos. We knew it was going on, or at least I did. If I didn't tell y'all, I'm sorry, but I did know it was happening. I wish my memory was better because I really can't remember if I included that in a video or not. And they ultimately decide to bring Mama Slayton's electric scooter over to the fair so that Tammy can get around a little bit better, but spoiler alert, Tammy doesn't fit in it. And you would think that that would be something that they would have tested out before they brought the motorized wheelchair all the way out to the Union County Fair, but they sure didn't. And then when they ultimately give up on the motorized chair, Tammy gets into her regular wheelchair and Michael starts pushing, but she pops the wheel. the tire part full up pops off.
Dang it.
What? The wheel?
Yep.
Just push it back on.
So it's just like the struggle for Tammy's mobility in this episode is real. The struggle to just like push her around is real. It feels like a lot. But they get to the actual meet and greet part. Tammy and Amy both talk a lot about how they're afraid of haters and things like that. They teased that for last year's virtual meet and greet as well. But it doesn't look like any haters actually showed up to like be mean to Tammy or Amy. And they do meet a lot of people that say that they went to like their high school and stuff like that, which leads to Tammy saying this.
I guess now you can say I got my booyah bitch kind of moment. Look at me now. I'm not the same person I was back then.
And I love that you have a booyah moment, but the like, look at me now kind of a thing, I feel like would have a whole lot more of an impact if like you had made some changes as a result of being on this TV show that has made you a local celebrity. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not to shade Tammy in any kind of way. I just really think, like, you really want the booyah moment? You really want the, like, gotcha, like, look at me now, bitches moment? Then I kind of feel like show them that you really care about, like, living and yourself and taking care of yourself. And just do the damn thing and get out there and keep living. You know what I'm saying? That's all. That's all. You know, like, that's where my mind's at. They also do a fun little Q&A game thing where, like, the fans answer questions and the winner gets to pie Michael in the face. And overall, I think it was like a cute moment. I'm glad that they got to have that time to connect with people that seemed genuinely excited to be there and to meet them. They said something like over 200 people came, which is, I think, like, wild and amazing and crazy for little old Kentucky. That feels very impressive to me. Listen, I'm about to go home for the holidays. I don't think anybody's gonna line up in my hometown for a meet and greet with me. So I love that for them. And then the very final scene is Tisa and Tammy going to the pool, and they are walking up, and Tisa starts off like pushing her, but like there's a little tiny hill to get into the actual like YMCA where they're gonna go swimming. So Tisa's like, hey, can you walk? Can you like walk the rest of that way? It's gonna be really difficult for me to push you up this. And basically she ends up having to go fetch the walker so that Tammy can do it, but she gets Tammy to do it. They get inside, and Tisa, listen, bless Tisa's heart. She seems like such a sweet lady and such a down-to-earth lady, and also like a lady that's not gonna put up with your bullshit. And I just like love all of those things combined. Like, I love a person who's clearly like not gonna deal with somebody's bullshit, but like also clearly like has a heart of gold. And for me, that's Tisa. Like, she talks about how she can't even swim, but she's like ready to do whatever she can to get Tammy active and in the water and swimming. And so she puts on like a life vest, and it's just like literally so cute. I was just like, God bless Tisa. Like, I love her. She's great and she's wonderful. And I hope she hears that from not just me, but from a lot of people. I think she easily could be a fan fave. And it was a little cute moment when Tammy like slid into the pool. I thought that was so funny.
You're doing real good. Where you going? Whee!
Tisa does point out that in general, Tammy is moving around way more in the water. It's clear that she is feeling like a little bit more comfortable to move around, and it's probably truly easier on like her joints and stuff for her to be swimming than it is like walking on dry land. But Tisa also points out that like Tammy's not really doing the exercises that they're doing in like the water aerobics with all the older ladies. Tisa's like, listen, Tammy is the youngest person here and she is struggling the most. Like, we gotta change that. But then when it comes time to get out of the pool, Tammy just puts up a fight about walking. When she immediately gets out, she's like, I can't walk in here, the floor is wet. And Tisa's like, the floor was wet when you walked in here to begin with. Like, why are you all of a sudden now can't walk? She eventually gets Tammy to walk out of the actual facility, but then once they get out of the facility, Tisa does go back to pushing her in the wheelchair, which I get. Like, I'm sure Tammy can't walk all the way from inside the facility back to the car. But then Tisa gets Tammy close enough to the car once again where she's like, okay, like I can't do the rest of this. I can't get you the rest of the way. Like, please, for my sake, because I'm hurting my back trying to push you. I'm not Michael, I'm not Chris. I don't have the strength to do this. You're gonna walk from here to the car. And Tammy's like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. And then Tisa's like, well, you sure are. You sure are. And listen, she gets Tammy to do stuff in a way that I ain't seen any of Tammy's siblings do, because she just basically was like, you're gonna do this. And then Tammy eventually did. And Tisa has a lot to say about this, and a lot of it that I agree with, but I'm just gonna let Tisa speak.
I cannot push you in that wheelchair like that and hurt myself because I know that you can walk. And I'm not gonna do it. That's just bull. You can walk. Ain't no sense you telling me that you can't walk. I didn't see you walk, hell. And I don't give a damn what you say.
And Tisa's right, like, it is so rude of Tammy to, like, not even try when she clearly can, to some extent, do some stuff that's gonna help people. I think it's so rude that she doesn't even try for, like, her siblings, honestly. And Tammy is mad, of course, and she thinks Tisa's just being so unfair.
I'm really mad right now. I don't think she's being fair. She knew what she was going to get into when she took this job. That was part of it, pushing me around in a wheelchair to take me places.
And I really take issue with her saying that Tisa signed up for this, because no, not entirely. Tisa didn't sign up for this. Like, Tisa clearly has been given the directive to make you walk. Okay, that's what Tisa signed up for. And now she can see that you can do it. And now she's not gonna put up with that moving forward. She's not gonna put up with this, like, I'm not gonna walk for you stuff moving forward, because to some extent you're able. So that's why I love Tisa. I don't know, if you love Tisa too, please let me know down in the comments, because I just thought she was so great this episode. I really enjoyed her. She's clearly a sweet person. She clearly actually really does care about Tammy, but she's also clearly not gonna put up with Tammy's bullshit, and I appreciate that. And that's about it for this episode. It looks like next episode Tammy's gonna go to therapy. I think, if I remember correctly, the preview showed Chris going to check back in at the doctor. Looks like Amy's gonna be discussing some skin removal surgery. So lots to come next week. I personally can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I look forward to it every week, let's be honest. But I'm looking forward to next week's episode. Thanks once again to Atlas VPN for sponsoring this video. Just as a reminder, you can get Atlas VPN for just $1.39 per month, plus their special December deal, which is 3 months free when you sign up now. So check out the link down below in my pinned comment and description box. If this is your first video here on my channel, make sure to subscribe down below and hit the bell button so you get notifications every single time I post a new video. Make sure to leave me a comment, hit like, click share, and follow me on all my social media. Also go check out my merch, which I've been wearing this whole video. I had so much fun with y'all today. I hope you did too, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!